Can eating and training like Spider-Man actually turn me into a real-life web-slinger? I will be spending the entire day eating and training like Spider-Man to see if I can truly become your friendly neighborhood, well, me. In the 2018 Spider-Man game on PlayStation 4, Peter actually stashes away one of Aunt May's recipes in one of his backpacks around the city. I have found these special Aunt May pancakes, and this is going to be the perfect start to become Spider-Man. I feel like this recipe in particular was something that not a lot of people even found. Aunt May's pancakes are actually pretty easy to put together. I'm taking 2 cups of buttermilk and adding in 2 tablespoons of molasses directly to that buttermilk. This is really important, so this way the molasses and the buttermilk are fully combined and it's not floating around in any weird way when you start mixing these. Once the molasses and buttermilk is combined, this is where I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Once those 3 ingredients are combined, I'm setting those to the side and I'm going to start working with the dry ingredients. The first is 1 cup of buckwheat flour, followed by 1 cup of whole wheat flour. Next, I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt. I actually think it's really important to have your dry ingredients and your wet ingredients separated and sifted together. This way, all the ingredients will fully incorporate into the batter without any weird lumps. I'm going to set those to the side and I'm going to start working with these 2 eggs. We have to actually separate the egg whites and the egg yolks. Mix the egg yolks together, just giving them a nice little whisk, and then add those egg yolks to the wet batter we have already made. Make sure that the egg yolks are fully combined with this wet batter, just like we explained about earlier. Now it's time to get a Spider-Man forearm workout in. I have to actually turn these into nice fluffy egg whites by whisking it by hand. Or you could be smarter like Doc Ock and use a stand mixer when making this, so this way you don't have to get this forearm workout in, but we're trying to be like Spider-Man, so we're going to use this. Now I'm going to combine all of the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients in parts. This means I'm adding in about 1/3 of my dry ingredients to my wet ingredients at a time. This way I don't over incorporate the dry ingredients. I'm also trying to not fully mix this. If I do, it's going to create too much gluten in that batter. Now I'm going to start adding in the egg whites in parts as well. This is what I'm folding in the egg whites into that batter mixture. This has to be done very gently so we don't deflate the egg whites, and I'm doing this 3 separate times. This way I can get a nice even coating of the egg whites into the batter. I'm continuing to stir this until I no longer see any white streaks of egg whites. I'm also using a cast iron to cook this, but you can use any real pan you have. Just make sure it's nicely greased. I'm taking about 1/2 cup of this batter and putting it into my pan. This does take a while to cook, so I guess right now we're just going to do the Spider-Man dance. Is this a Spider-Man dance? Maybe I'm just out of web. I don't know what's happening. What's happening today. Now, after about 4 or 5 minutes, we should have a little bit of color on this pancake and it's ready to flip. If you're not comfortable doing this, then maybe use a more flat pan to cook this, but you want to get some color on there and then give it a flip. This now has to cook for another 4 or 5 minutes on the other side until we get these beautiful bubbles and this really nice texture on this pancake. It has a lot of air from the baking soda and baking powder, so they should be really nice when we cut into them. I'm repeating this process with another pancake because this actually makes quite a bit of batter. We do the Spider-Man dance thanks to Gandalf, give this thing a flip, and now cook this for a few minutes before it's done. After making 2 of these massive pancakes, we're going to be topping this off with a little bit of softened unsalted butter, and then topping this off with a hefty amount of maple syrup. These are Aunt May's buckwheat pancakes with maple syrup, the perfect start to a Spider-Man filled day. I think Aunt May had it right because these things look freaking amazing. And also with all of the baking soda and baking powder in here, as well as those egg whites that we fluffed up, the pancakes themselves stay super fluffy. Buckwheat actually doesn't have a ton of gluten in it, so usually it loses its structure as it cooks, but with the addition of all the leavening agents plus the wheat flour, we're able to get this really beautiful, beautiful interior on these pancakes. But I'm also gonna be dipping this in some maple syrup. Cheers. Oh my God. If you like a really hearty, deep tasting style of pastry or bread, this is right up your alley. The buckwheat, fantastic. It has a little bit of a grittiness to it from the buckwheat naturally, which I really love. It's still super fluffy. You can taste the molasses, even though I'm dipping it in all of this syrup. Honestly, I give these a solid 8.5 out of 10. But this is the perfect carb load for the next challenge, which is a Tom Holland inspired workout. To begin today's Spider-Man training, I'm going to perform Tom Holland's upper body workout he had done to become the Spider-Man. Now, when Tom Holland was training to become Spider-Man, he did a lot of total body training. But today, because I am going to have 2 different Spider-Man trainings in a single day, I'm going to be splitting up my training. Spider-Man does a lot of bodyweight training, so I'm going to do some bodyweight training and superset everything, which means workouts back to back. The reason why I like to do supersets for this is because it does keep my heart rate up. I can only imagine that Spider-Man has an insanely high tolerance for cardio because he does flips and stuff on command. So after every set of push-ups, I'm going straight into a back exercise. I repeat this process for a few sets until I can't do any more. This does get you tired out, so make sure you take your time if you're trying this. Next, I go straight into working on my chesticles. This is just an incline bench press followed by a chest supported bent over row, so that way I hit the chest and the back multiple times. I end this with some incline curls because I think this is just a very good stretch, followed by a little bit of shoulder work with some lateral raises. Spider-Man has incredibly strong shoulders because he has to swing his entire body weight through Manhattan.
Now, according to my app Strong, I finished my workout in under 40 minutes. But this came at a cost of less reps per exercise because I was supersetting everything. That just means I am not Spider-Man ready. But I do have a few ideas of how to get ready to be Spider-Man, and one of them starts with one of the most famous scenes in all of Spider-Man.
Now, the scene that I want to recreate is the burger scene where Peter Parker from a different universe is talking to Miles Morales and just absolutely devouring this burger. And I really hope this burger fuels me for my final Spider-Man training after lunch. Okay, look, we've all done this song and dance before, so I'm not going to waste your time. I was bit by radioactive chef and he helped me become the chef that I am today. I'm just taking a traditional sesame seed bun that, yes, I did buy from the store because no, I'm not making from scratch buns for this. And after I got it toasted up with a little bit of butter, I'm taking a really lean ground beef patty that's about 4 ounces, adding a ton of salt and black pepper to it, and smashing it into the pan with my hands because I'm a monster, and if you don't want to do this, just use a spatula. I also do this weird technique where I take the spatula and make indentations into the burger, and I think it kind of helps, but I'm not quite sure. I flip the burger after about a minute or two and then add 2 slices of American cheese. Yes, American cheese to your cheeseburger, please. Once that cheese is slightly melted, we're removing this burger and we're gonna add some secret sauce to this bun. But Paul, where's that secret sauce from?
I'm glad you asked. This recipe comes from my brand new infinite recipe card system, Cooking with Chaos. Every box of Cooking with Chaos comes with 60 different recipe cards that you can mix and match to make new meals every single time, or use the cards individually like I am for the secret sauce to add it to whatever meal you're currently making. It's incredibly flexible and it's how I cook as a chef. I can't explain to you how many times I just want to go find a good sauce to pick for tonight's dinner. I already had my heart set out on making something, but I just needed something a little extra to go along with it. Pick one of the 20 different sauces to match whatever you're making that evening and just add it to your dinner. One of my best friend's dads loves to barbecue, right? But he can never figure out what sides to use for his barbecue. So I gave him a pack of cards and he immediately fell in love with all of the different side options that he could pick from. One of his favorites was the tangy ramen sauce, super easy to make. And according to the nutrition info on the back, it's relatively healthy. But it doesn't stop there because I also added 20 different protein cards that you can add to your meal. If you want something completely random, every single card comes with a D20 or a dice mechanic. In the top corner right over here, there's a number associated with a dice roll. Roll a 20-sided die and just make whatever the number lands on. It makes dinner night really, really fun, and you can involve the entire family if you want to. And the best part is I'm gonna give you guys some free cards right now. If you sign up for the newsletter at the link down below over at cookingwithchaos.gg, you're gonna get 6 cards emailed to you. All you have to do is print out those sheets and tape them or glue them together, and you can get a sample of how Cooking with Chaos works. But for those of you who are all in, you can still pre-order Cooking with Chaos right now at cookingwithchaos.gg. Every single pre-order is also going to come with 3 additional recipe cards from a future expansion pack. That's exclusive to the first edition for people who pre-order right now. So head over to cookingwithchaos.gg at the link down below and make sure you pre-order the first edition for those 3 free cards, and make sure you sign up for the newsletter and you're gonna get 6 cards for free just to check them out. Now let's finish making this burger.
Now, if you're good at math like Peter Parker, you'll notice that the ad read for Cooking with Chaos was longer than it took me to make this burger because burgers are super simple and I shouldn't waste your time by making burgers. But this is also one of Peter Parker's favorite things. So I'm finishing this off with some lettuce and tomato plus more of that secret sauce and of course air fryer fries because no, I don't need to get a bunch of hot oil ready. This is the diner cheeseburger from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, plus like every other piece of media you've ever seen in your life.
Now this is a pretty filling lunch for Spider-Man, and it's going to fuel me for my last challenge. And I don't know if I'm ready for that one. Cheers. I love this burger. It's so delicious. In my universe, this place closed, but in this universe, this burger exists. It's layered beautifully. I mean, it's just a classic American cheeseburger. The secret sauce is tangy and salty. It complements the burger really nicely. And of course, air fryer fries. They're so easy. A cave Paul could do it. But now it's time for real Spider-Man training, and I have 2 other Spider-Mans joining me for this.
Spider-Man isn't just strong, he's insanely agile. He flips, twists, and swings through the city with the kind of movement that looks straight out of a video game. And while I don't have webs to swing from, there's a way to train like Spidey in real life. parkour.
Parkour!
It's basically the closest thing we've got to feeling like Spider-Man. So if you've ever wanted to live out your Spidey fantasies just like me, parkour is definitely the way to do it. Now, let's see if my body is actually ready for this. I'll be joined by 2 real-life Spider-Men so they can show me all of the ropes.
So we're here at Skyhook Ninja Fitness. This is Aman and this is Gavin. Both of them are going to help me run through a Spider-Man inspired training course.
This Spider-Man training course challenge is going to consist of a warm-up followed by a time attack and then a bunch of Spider-Man inspired flips.
These guys are professionals, so they're gonna go first. I'm just gonna walk over here.
The course that's been set up today is supposed to emulate different traversal techniques that Spider-Man might use in real life. Meanwhile, I'm going to make sure that my hips are nice and stretched. Gavin is one of the instructors here at Skyhook Ninja Fitness and is a Spider-Man in his own right. He wanted to show us the path we're going to be taking for this course because that is very important for the flow of the course. Gavin does this very, very easily, but he also takes it nice and slow, so this way I can figure out exactly where to go when it's my turn. The last thing we're ending with is the warp wall, and we have to reach the top and we are done. All 3 of us get to run the course as our warm-up. This way we get a feel for the course before we actually start running it for the time attack, but a lot of us ran it better than others, and I'm not going to say who.
I'm stuck. I went the wrong way.
Even Spider-Man gets lost from time to time, right? Right?
Who wants to go first?
This is definitely the Spider-Man's pointing at each other meme. Gavin decided to go first, and this is his time attack challenge. Remember, he's trying to get through the course as fast as possible, and he is absolutely blazing through this thing. He's only run it twice today for his warm-up, and seeing him go this fast through the course made me think, how on earth am I going to do this? He was able to finish it so quickly.
16 seconds. I can't even get out of bed that fast.
16 seconds is kind of insane. So now Aman is up and he has to try to beat the 16 seconds that Gavin just ran. Aman threw in a little more flair with some of his techniques as well, but he was slowed down right when he got to that wall. After he hit the balance beam, he made his way to the Spider-Man perch and immediately booked it for the warp wall, reaching the top in no time. I feel like I'm going to be incredibly slow compared to these two. Aman ran it in 21 seconds.
So Gavin ran it in 16, Aman ran it in 21, and my goal is to not hurt myself.
Look, it's always a good goal to not hurt yourself, so I am trying to actually go through this as quickly as I can, but my 38-year-old knees aren't really forgiving me today. As soon as I got to the rope, I tried to swing on it like Tarzan and I failed miserably, but I got to the first box and then proceeded through to the balance challenges. Look, the best part about trying to become Spider-Man is not to actually become Spider-Man. It's to put forth the effort that Spider-Man puts forth into everything you do every single day. I mentioned this during my solo leveling diet video that you don't need to try to tackle everything all at once. You can break up things throughout your day to make them easier to conquer. Just like I took my time at the Spider-Man perch before conquering the top of this warp wall. Was I as fast as the other two? No way, but I made it.
All right, what did he get? 47.7.
But now we have to do the other Spider-Man challenges, but I'm gonna make my Spider Boys do those instead.
Spider-Man does a ton of tricks. I can do none of them, so Gavin is going to showcase some of the most epic Spider-Man tricks. Starting off with something called a gainer to a combat roll, and honestly, he makes it look too easy. The next one is a wall flip, which emulates Spider-Man bouncing off of bad guys. Next is a side flip, something Spider-Man uses to get around.
So you're gonna do that, right?
I won't be doing any of those, but watch this. Do a backflip.
Not bad.
Gavin also wanted to show off this trick he's been working on, and I said just go for it because it looked so cool. Watching all of this just made me hungry.
Now with all those challenges done, the last thing we need to do is eat some pizza.
And that pizza is going to be coming from Escape from New York Pizza in Portland, some of the best New York style pizza you will find in Oregon. One of my favorite things about this location is you can actually get pizza by the slice. It's pretty uncommon to find pizza by the slice in Oregon, so this is a little bit of a treat to get that New York style pizza. Aman, myself, and Rachel all decided we needed to have this.
Can we do the 3 bell pepper, sausage, and pepperoni? These 3 guys right here? Yeah, thank you.
This place was setting off my spider senses.
It smells really good in here. It smells so good in here.
The entire aesthetic of this place just felt really cozy in a lot of ways, down to this really cool antique cash register. After paying for our food, which came out to about $24 with a few drinks, all we had to do now is wait for our food to be reheated because pizza by the slice, you're just gonna reheat it. But it took no time at all.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, oh, that looks so good.
Smells good too.
Oh, it smells so good. I'm excited for this. We've been in Portland for like 7 years now. I've never had it. Amon, have you ever had this?
I've never had this.
Amon's never had this either. This is a proper fitting for Peter Parker. Cheers. Salud. Oh my God.
Did you show it?
Show yours.
You know, this is why Rachel is right a lot of the time. I just go all in into the pizza, and she actually thought of you guys and wanted to show this thing off. And let me just say, this is some of the sexiest pizza I've had in a while.
Oh, want another one?
This is so good. Oh my God. If you guys want to check out Cooking with Chaos, my very own infinite recipe card system, I'm going to leave a link for that down below. If you want to check out Skyhook Ninja Fitness, I'll leave them down there as well. Thank you guys so much for being there. We're going to down this pizza and maybe get more. I might get another one.
Yeah.
This is so good. My name is Chefpk, and remember, keep playing with your food.
If you want to see one of my other character diets, I've left an entire playlist for you on screen. All you have to do is click or tap on this playlist and you can start binge watching right now.